Good morning, everybody. It's Jennifer from Jennifer's Creations Wall, and welcome back. Today we're going to do a drill with me, um, and let's get those of you that are watching diamond paint with me, and we will have some do some chatting. Oh, let's see. Sorry, those of you that didn't get to watch my last drill with me, I am working on my daughter's Christmas present for, excuse that, they're doing their regular extermination. And they have to be loud when they do that. I don't understand it either, so don't, I don't question, just so they come in and spray. Anyway, as I was saying, I am doing my daughter's Christmas present. I put my supernatural aside and I am working on her Christmas present. Um, she didn't know that I was going to get this for her. And then when it came in the mail, she was like, "Oh, cool, you got this for me." So, yeah. It's kind of huge. I didn't expect it to be this huge, but wow. Yeah. I was kind of shocked, but I mean, I like the fact that it's big because it has all the Disney princesses on it. So yeah, it's kind of, and between her and my kid, the two girls love Disney, so it was kind of one of those things that So let's see. This week has been kind of quiet. I do have a couple of things to talk about. First, Justin has a job interview tomorrow, and he's kind of excited about it. He was supposed to have the job interview yesterday, and the person that was going to take him, their car broke down, so he had to reschedule it. And Justin has a bike, but it's not here. It's at his godfather's house. So he didn't, have time to go over and get it after he got out of school yesterday. So they rescheduled it for Friday. And forget exactly what he said. I think he said he was a food runner. I'm not sure what exactly that is. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think it's kind of a waiter. I'm not sure. I didn't ask. He's just excited that, which and I know some of us, some of you guys watched some of my lives, when I was doing, lives more frequently, when, my talking about, him and the money thing. And, I have to give him credit. Some of you know the problems that I was having. I mean, it wasn't anything big. I mean, it wasn't like he was in trouble with, the law or anything like that. It was just, he just felt, that he couldn't be in the classroom. And I think part of it's due to his ADHD that he has. So, anyway, long story short, he started getting himself back together. And he, I told him, I said, and when he came to me Tuesday and told me that he had a job interview. And I was like, where? And he's told me. And I said, son, you're 17. You have to be 18 to work there. You can't, because it's a bar. I guess it's like one of those, grill and bar places, restaurant and bar things. I don't know. And he said, well, the manager told such and such that, he needed the help. And I haven't had time or really had the money to get him an ID. He needs an ID. And I said, well, if you have your school ID, that should work. I said, if it doesn't work, let the guy know that you can get an ID with your first paycheck and we'll go and get it. I said, but you're probably going to have to end up having a checking account or one of those prepaid cards that I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. It's been so long since I've had to, deal with this kind of thing. So this is a refresher course for me. But yeah, he's kind of excited about it. And, I told him, I said, well, I'm glad that you're happy about it. And he says, well, he told me, he said, well, if I get the job, he says, I can pay, some towards my phone bill and pay, some towards the Wi-Fi bill. Now, mind you, I didn't ask him to do that, and I'm not going to ask him to do that, which, but to me, he's been one of these ones that's never, ever, ever really, in my eyes, because I guess I'm his mother, but he's never really kind of shown any kind of responsibility for anything, if you know what I mean. And when he, said that, I just looked at him and I was like, huh? You're gonna do what? So I was kind of shocked, but then again, I'm proud of him that he, wants to take that initiative to do that. And I told him, I said, well, let's see if you get the job first, and then we'll talk. I said, I'm not going to sit here and, demand you to do this. And he says, are you going to make me pay rent? And I said, I don't know. I told him, truthfully, I haven't really thought about that because like I said, we don't know if he's got the job. He's got to go for the interview tomorrow. Sorry, guys, I'm drinking coffee. And I told him, I said, let's, see beforehand or after you have the job. Before we sit here and discuss that because, I'm not going to tell you and make you do something. And, we're not going to make this agreement if, you don't have, if you're not going to get the job. And, he understood that. And so now my next hurdle that I need to cover, that I need to get him to overcome with him is his room. And, cleaning it, and it stinks in there. I'm sorry. I'm his mom. I know I shouldn't say that, but I'm telling you, I have never in my life walked into a room. I thought every time I go in there, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And it's got it's gotten to a point, Skylar, little dude, won't even sleep in there. He sleeps on the couch because it's disgusting. It smells. And so that's my next big, hurdle. And I'm hoping that now that he's, if he gets this job, that, him learning that, that kind of responsibility, he'll want to take that kind of responsibility and put it towards cleaning up his room, and which would be nice. So, but I'm not really gonna hold my breath. But I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So we'll see. Oh, let's see what else has happened. Little dude got his first diamond painting. First diamond painting, whatever you call it, from Rachel Ray. She sent him little diamond paintings there of the Avengers, and he's excited. He's been working on it, and no, he doesn't sit and do it all the time, because that's what I thought. He was gonna sit back there and do do it all the time, and be back in his sister's room and drive her crazy. But no, he doesn't. He sits back there, like at the most a half an hour, if even. And he brought it out to me last night. He says, "Look, Mom, I did a pretty good job on Thor." And I was like, "Oh wow, you did." And I'm very impressed. And those of you that saw my Facebook post, the video that I posted in the diamond painting groups, he did a pretty good job. He was having the time of his life. I only showed him 2 times how to place the diamond on the on the symbol, and then he went to town. So yeah, he was excited about that, and I give him credit. I'm very, very proud of him, because he's now, and of course now, as you know, we got his big one. Now he's telling me that this is the funny thing. The Avengers one that I bought him, that I did the unboxing of, originally he was going to be the one to do the diamond painting. He was going to do it himself. Well, then he changed his mind. And then again, he changed his mind again. Now, he went back and forth on this for like, oh my gosh. It was like every time I turned around, I asked him, do you want me to do it and give it to you for Christmas? Or do you want to do it yourself? Well, after I recorded the video, he looked at me and he says, "I want to do the diamond painting myself." Okay, we can do that. I said, you can practice with the ones that Miss Rachel sent you. And he's like, okay. Well, then he comes out, like, I don't know, the next day, I think it was, he says to me, "No, Mommy." I said, "What?" He says, "Are you going to do the Avengers diamond painting for me for Christmas?" And I just looked at him and I said, "Pumpkin, I thought you wanted Mommy to do it. I thought you wanted to do it." "No, I want you to do it." Okay. So, I had it on my list of, in my queue to do. Well, he, then, like, yesterday, he looks at me. "When can I start my bigger one?" And I kind of looked at him and I said, "Sweetheart, you wanted Mommy to do it." "Well, I've changed my mind." "Okay, that's fine. Whatever." So I have it, sitting over here on the craft table, and, I'll kit it up for him, and then, we'll go from there. I told him, I said, because I just don't want you bored with it. I said, because And he's like, okay. So we'll see. I don't know. We're still going back and forth on that. It's like 1 minute yes, 1 minute no. I want you to do it, mommy, and blah, blah, blah. So at this point, I'm just, yeah, I'm going with the flow. I mean, anybody that, knows my little dude, that's how he is. He's at that point that, I don't know, he gets like that. And so we're, going, but he's enjoying it. I have to say, I was impressed because I didn't think he'd want to do diamond paintings. And of course, my oldest daughter, Ariel, was like, don't get him started on that. That's not a man's hobby. Who says? I see men do diamond paintings. So, yeah. All right, stand by, guys. I need to check something. So I told him, I said, I've seen guys do diamond paintings. And he looked at me, or she says, well, don't get him started on that. It don't make him, a sissy baby, blah, 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 blah. Seriously? A sissy baby? So, yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, he may not like it. I mean, these little ones may be what he only wants to do. But either way, I've shown him, how to do it, and I'll let him decide if he wants to go bigger than that. The next thing is, I just purchased, and they're supposed to be coming today in the mail. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of thriftbooks.com. And they are a website, and it's also an app on my phone. But you can get, books cheap. And so like I told y'all I think it was a couple weeks ago, I started listening to Patricia Cromwell books again. And I decided that I'm going to start from the beginning of the Kay Scarpetta series, because I got a little confused listening to the book. And because there's a lot of things in there. I used to read her books. Now, mind you, I didn't read them in order. But I've taken it upon myself to decide, okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. So there's 3 that are on the way. Actually, I think it's 4. There's 3 in one. There's 3 in one book. And then I ordered another one. And altogether, it was like $13, $14. So I was really, really impressed. And they're not, I've gotten books from them before, long, long time ago. And I completely, totally forgot about the website. And I had gotten books from them before. And, they come in pretty good condition. You can get them new. You can get them used. And so, so I was very, very pleased with the price. So I'm waiting for them to come today. And can't wait because, I love her books. And I just put a bunch of Agatha Christie in there. And there's also, another series. I forget what it's called. I think it's called The Kent Family from John Jakes. I can't remember. And somebody referred that, or, suggested that to me. So I have, you know, got those ready to be ordered the next time. I'm telling you, my pen today is being dumb. Um, trying to think what else is going on today. Um, I was gonna do this update tomorrow, or do the drill with me tomorrow, only because I had this big, thing planned, and so after sitting here thinking, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this done and over with. I was reading on Facebook the other day, and I can't remember where I saw the post, and I don't even remember which group it was in. And the lady that posted was asking if, for those people that have depression, does it help to diamond paint and do other crafts? And I was, and I never realized until I read that post and saw the comments. I mean, there were a lot of comments. I can't even tell you how many there were. How many people like me have depression, anxiety, or whatever? And I was just like, wow, these are these people are people that diamond paint, cross stitch, you name it. And so I thought today that I would, talk about how my hobbies helped me. Um, I know I have talked about my depression before. Well, and the story behind that is I didn't know I had depression until my mother, told me that she could tell the signs because she suffers from depression. Well, at first I didn't believe her. I was in total denial. And shortly after Justin was born, I realized that, okay, I'm putting my foot in my mouth because, I denied it. And a lot of people, tell me, no, don't do that because, it's just, normal for somebody to, deny and doesn't, don't want to believe that you have it. And, I didn't want to believe it. I told my mother that, no, you're just, saying that. And she told me, no, I'm not. Well, of course, I didn't believe her. I just, dropped the subject and said, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And, finally my father, said, sweetheart, you have this and you really need to, get it treated. Well, I never really went and got it any kind of treatment for it. To me, I didn't feel that my depression was that bad. I mean, I just didn't think it was that bad. And I just didn't care. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that I just, I didn't care. 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 I didn't didn't, to me, it was irrelevant at that point in time. So about, good grief, I can't even remember now, maybe 10 years ago, um, I can't really remember exactly. But anyway, I went and was evaluated for it. And because I got to a point that I was having panic attacks and my anxiety was like way, sometimes over the top. Most of the time, I dealt with those things by not thinking about it. And I thought I did pretty good. Finally, I, said, no, I can't do this. Just, this isn't going to work. So I went and I took, I have medication. Well, I explained to my therapist, whatever you want to call her, shrink, whatever you want to call her, that, I don't know how to explain this. I don't feel depressed all the time, if that makes any sense. And I don't always take, I don't always, I take my medicine every day, but sometimes I think, okay, why am I taking this? Because, I'm not really feeling that way. And, and she explained this too. She says, well, do you have things that, you do to help manage that? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, sorry guys. And she said, do you have any hobbies? And I said, yeah. And I told her, I cross stitch and that the time that's what I was doing. And she says, what do you think about when you're cross stitching? Now, mind you, I never thought about this because when you have depression, you always think the negative, if that makes any sense. You're always thinking negatively. You think you're worthless. You don't want to do anything. You just want to lay around. And that's it. And, you have no motivation. And I told her, I said, well, I don't think about any of that because, at the time, I had all 4 kids in the house, so I really didn't think about it. And she says, so your kids help, keep your mind off of it too. And I said, yeah. And she says, does it affect your house, like cleaning your house, things like, I said, there are days that I just don't feel like it. And I said, I thought it was just my being lazy. And she said, well, that's part of it. She said, but there's another part of it that says, there's a part in your brain, I guess, I don't know, that tells you, why bother? And, and I sat back and I thought about it and I was like, yeah, you're right, And so I started, journaling again. And when I went to see her last week, she said, this week, sorry. She said, she was the one that suggested the journaling. And she said, how is that coming? And I said, it's okay. Sometimes I forget. And she laughed and she says, I totally get that. She said, I do the same thing. And she said, you don't have to write every day. She said, just, whenever you want to. She says, I'm not sitting here saying you have to do this every day. And I said, well, it's not that I don't want to do it every day. It's just that I forget. And I said, and I'm not really good at remembering to do, things like that. And she, said, well, that's fine. You don't have to do it every day. So that's kind of helped me too. And she really helped me when because I told her that I had started recording videos on my YouTube channel. And she really, really was, kind of, how do I put this? She was my kind of support system, you know what I mean? And she really, gave me the incentive, kind of the balls. Now, I mean, she's not the only one. There's a couple other people in the diamond painting community that, kind of said, let's go for it. And you can do it. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that do it. And so I thought about it for a while, and I thought, you're right. It's, if all these other people can do this, I can do this. So, and, that helps my depression a lot. Being able to do, being able to sit here and do videos. Mind you, there for a while I was doing, lives a lot. And I don't know why. I really don't. I don't know what. I'm not sure why I did, wanted to do that. Truthfully, I don't even know. But anyway, it helped. Doing drill with me's like this, and, it really, really helps. Because, I can sit here. At first, when I could sit here and talk, and I don't feel crazy, if that makes any sense. And at first, I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy. Somebody's going to walk by my apartment. They're going to hear me talking to myself, and they're going to think I've totally, totally lost it. And, at this point, I could really give two flying donkeys patooties. Because, I don't care. So, yes, I still suffer from it. No, I don't feel it all the time. But my opinion and my experience, my hobbies have helped a lot. I don't think that, I would, to be truthful, if I didn't have my hobbies and my kids weren't around to always, keep me on my toes and so forth, I don't think that I would be vertical. I would probably be still laying in my bed, not giving two flying excuse my language, fucks about what is going on. But I never really got that far, and I thought about it. Um, I was sitting here and I was thinking about it last night, to be truthful. And, you know, my whole life, even when I was growing up, I didn't think that, my issues, the issues that I had at home and the way that I was towards my parents, I didn't really think that it was depression. And, now I know better. So, yeah, I was kind of like, wow. But, I mean, I don't I don't suffer with it like some people do, like my daughter does. My oldest daughter, Ariel, suffers from depression. And I've seen her at her low point. And if you're watching, sweetheart, I'm sorry. And I don't suffer with it as bad as she does, or bad as she did. And, and I think between, my hobbies and I think another thing is my smoking. I think that helps too. And I think my kids, and just being, always, I guess, busy or whatever. I think that kind of helps. And writing, journaling every day or whenever. So, I mean, I wanted to share that with everybody about, what my feeling about, the hobbies and doing things like that to keep, to help with the depression. To me, it does. It's therapeutic. And because I've seen a lot of negative comments about that, and, and it really, really irks me because, unless you understand the disease, and believe me, I didn't understand the disease at first either. I had no clue. When my mother and my father both told me, I was like, what? I truly didn't understand the disease at first. I had no clue. And, I mean, and it's hard when you're diagnosed with that. It's hard to sit there and say, okay, I have this. Oh, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to, feel sorry for myself or what? And I think part of the reason why I don't suffer from it so much is because I refuse to believe that mine is that bad. I don't think it is. Now, and of course my mother, always swears up and down to me that, hers is, I mean, hers is bad. And, she swears up and down that I'm just like she is, that if hers is affecting her as bad as hers is, then, mine's the same way. I don't feel that way. So, I don't know. But anyway, that's my feeling. Me, personally, anybody that has that kind of, anybody that has depression and, had, to me, having a hobby really, really helps. And I also, when I am depressed, if I'm, don't feel like doing my other hobbies, I'll sit and read. Because getting lost in a book is very, very therapeutic too. You get lost, you get into the plot, you get into the storyline, and you just totally forget about everything else. To me, that's me. I mean, that's, how I feel. And that's just, my opinion. Sorry. I'm not trying to get on somebody's, get on the soapbox. Because, I just wanted, you know, you ought to understand that, I mean, no, not everybody that does have hobbies, and not everybody that does hobbies does it for that reason. At first, when I started cross stitching, I didn't do it because of the depression. I didn't even know about my depression then. And I didn't do my hobbies because of that. Excuse me. I did it because, I enjoy it. And I mean, I still enjoy my hobbies. I still enjoy diamond painting. I enjoy cross stitch. Granted, I haven't cross stitched in like, since November. And I do plan to start doing that again and doing, stitch with me's again. And, but I mean, I didn't start hobbies for that reason. So, those of you that, that's not why I started my hobbies. So, let's see what else has been going on. Those of you that did ask me about that new, that Sky was out sick Monday and Tuesday. Thank you. He does feel better. He had a slight headache Sunday night, and he woke up Monday morning with a slight fever. And so I kept him home. And then, of course, Tuesday, he still didn't feel, the greatest. So I kept him home again. And he, of course, now, it's Thursday, and he's been fighting me to go to school. He doesn't want to go to school. And I told him, I said, no. I said, you're going to school, and, I don't know what your problem is, why all of a sudden, you don't want to go to school, but you're going. And he gets to that point that he's getting, angry. And I told him, I said, I'm not doing this. You're going to go to school. Well, he came out here this morning, and he was sitting on the couch, and I was sitting in a recliner drinking my coffee, and I had the news on, and he looks at me and he says, and he started whimpering and whining, and I said, what is wrong with you? Nothing. And he's like, okay. So he kept going, and I tried to ignore this. I'm telling you. I did. I tried to ignore him. And I said, he kept going, and finally, after like, 5 minutes of, hearing it, I looked at him, and I gave him now, we have an evil stare in our family. And my parents have, believe me, this look got passed down through generations from my mother to me. And so I gave him the Field family evil look. And he just looks at me. And I said, what is your problem? I don't want to go to school. And I said, why don't you want to go to school? And he says, because I want to stay here with you. And I said, well, son, that's not a reason. I said, you're not sick. you're going to school and you're not staying home. Well, next thing I know, he's over there, throwing a major conniption fit on a couch. So I get up and I look at him. I said, do you need to go sit in timeout? No. I said, you're going to school and you're going to like it. And I said, you're not getting out of it. Well, he didn't say anything else. So it came time to get ready to go, and he looks at me. He's like, I'm not going. I said, yes, you are. I said, get your shoes, get your socks on, and let's go. He got his shoes and socks on, and he pouted the whole time. And so I started, in our apartment where we live, there's a fence between the school and the apartment complex. And there's a little, gate that they can go through. So I opened the apartment door, or I opened the door to the building, and I said, have a good day, and I gave him a kiss. And next thing I know, he's like, will you walk me to the gate? I guess. Why do you want me to walk you to the gate? And he said, please. I said, all right, fine. So I did. I walked him to the gate. And once he went around the corner, I started to go get my coffee. And all of a sudden, I heard, Mom. He's standing at the corner of the school trying to get my attention. And I said, wow. Okay. Here we go. He's gonna, And I stopped, and he just stood there for a minute. And I said, go to school. Go to your class. You're fine. And he's like, well, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go get coffee. And well, he kind of, I could tell by the look on his face, even though, he was, I couldn't see it very well, but I can tell by the look on his face that he wasn't happy. And I said, son, really? So finally he got out of his, I don't know what you want to call it, attitude, I guess. And he kind of hung his head down, slunched his shoulders, and went to his class. And, I felt bad afterwards. I felt so awful when he was on his way into the classroom. And I felt, I'm standing there thinking I'm the worst parent in the whole entire world. I just made my child go to school. He doesn't want to go to school. He's going to throw a fit. And, I just felt like the bad guy the whole time. And and I don't usually, feel bad like that. But when you got somebody giving you puppy dog eyes, and yeah, it just made me feel like shit. And I don't usually, get away with it and it doesn't, I don't usually get that upset, truthfully. It just, I don't know how to explain it. I guess because he was so spoiled on Monday and Tuesday, and, he didn't put up much of a fight yesterday. So I don't understand what the problem was today. I'm still trying to figure that out. Because, he's been pretty good about getting up and going. So I don't know. I'll talk to him when he gets home and figure it out, because it kind of, blew me away. So, I don't know. And it kind of made me feel bad, because I was like, why do I feel like the most horrible mother in the world? And, it tugged my heartstrings, let's put it that way. So, I got my Kindle Fire, or my Kindle Paperwhite. It's really, really small. It's a little smaller than this. I want to say maybe like this from here down. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it. I finally learned, some of it, how to, do some things on it. And I'm still, learning it. I'm not, I thought it was like a Kindle Fire because on Kindle Fire you can, download other apps. And I don't think it is. I didn't see an option for that. So, which is fine because, I use it now when, because I like to read in bed too. So I use it when I go back into my room around, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock and I read. So it's kind of nice. I was expecting it, like I said, I was expecting it to be bigger than what it was. And it's not, but that's okay. So I need to get a, what do you call it? A cover for it. So, because I don't want to lose it. But it's, I like it. So, it's kind of nice. And let's see what else. Today's Thursday. You probably won't see this until Friday because I'm gonna upload this Friday. I think. I don't know. I might not. Those of you that did see that haven't seen yet, I did post a picture of my Ever moment hung up, and I don't have a way to show you right now, so I probably could. No, I can't. I don't think. Can I? No, I can't. So, but yeah, it's hung up. I posted in the groups on Facebook. I'm going to get a bigger frame or get a frame for it. Right now, it's hanging on poster board or foam board. I'm going to do a better job. Well, I'm good the next time I buy some, or actually I have another piece, and I'm going to try to do better with that, with it this coming time. And hopefully I can practice enough that I can do a pretty good job with it this time. And I do want to make a video, so hopefully, I can get that, ready for it, because it's, kind of one of those things. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I am, and because I thought, there's been a couple other people that have been posting, Drill With Me's and about this, and I watched, there's a couple people that I watch, and I was watching, one video, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Stitcherista. And then I was watching somebody else who apparently, and I guess I've been missing this, and I guess part of it was because, I was out of, I guess, sync this past week or last week because of my migraine. And I didn't really know anything about what was going on until I saw this. And, I'm giving a shout out today. Mrs. Coffee said it so well in her whipping chat yesterday. And I'm kind of, and I totally agree with her. And when I started his channel, for my cross stitch. And I started doing floss tube videos. And, I was going along doing those, and I didn't think, and I was like, now, I don't look at how many views there are, usually. To me, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's just me. Because the way I see it, you watch it, okay, if not, okay, whatever. And like I said, I started my channel because of that. And I felt, okay, I wasn't, to me, I guess because there were so many, cross stitchers, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of diamond painters also. And my thing was, and I don't know if I felt like this then, and but now, I totally agree. You have to work your butt off. I mean, you don't have to work your butt off, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to make your channel what you want it to be. And I think that's another reason why I felt my channel wasn't successful at the beginning. I mean, it might change now. I don't know. Especially when I start, adding my cross stitch to it and doing my floss tubes again. To me, there are so many of us out there, cross stitchers, diamond painters, that do both or one or the other. I mean, there's a couple people. I crochet, but I don't do it all the time. And, you have to really, really sit down and think of ideas. Yeah, it's hard work. If you want your channel to be successful, it's hard work. You just don't go to somebody. The gifts that I receive, sometimes I don't even expect the gifts. Just like this last week, the gift that was sent to my child. Somebody, and there was somebody else that had the same problem too. And, I don't even know how to put this because, it's irritating and, and I think it's wrong. But, you have to do the work to, get your views. Don't just do it. The sub for sub thing, I didn't even know about it until, somebody else had said something about it. And, I don't do that. And, I mean, I try to watch everybody's videos. All the people that I'm subscribed to. Do I watch everybody's videos? No. There are some that I watch more than others. There are, YouTube creators that I watch more than others. That doesn't mean that, I don't want to watch the other people. It's just, I have to catch up on everybody's videos. But again, my point being is if you're going to have a YouTube channel, and, this didn't really hit me until a couple months ago, maybe even before that. If you're going to have a channel, and, you know, you want it to be successful. Yes, doing your own thing. Do your own thing. Be different. Yeah, I know there's people out there that do, you know, whip and chat. I know there's a couple other people out there that do diamond tube, um, you know, other things. Be different. I mean, you know, I was reading somebody's post on, I can't remember where it was, and this YouTuber decided that she was going to stop because she felt that there were already enough um, videos to explain the process of diamond painting, I guess, and there was a couple other things, and she just felt that, you know, she shouldn't record the videos anymore. That's all good and dandy, you know. I understand her point. But there are other ways to do this. There are other ways. Believe me, there are ideas flowing through my head all day long. And yes, I've watched some people. You know, I've got a couple ideas right now. And I've watched other people do the same thing. And, you know, I sit there and I'm thinking, I can probably do this a little differently than somebody else. I just don't want to copy that person. You have to now I got myself all worked up and I'm all, yeah. It's, you know, be creative. I mean, granted, I am not a creative person. And, you know, I have editing on, you know, I started editing my videos. And am I happy with that? Yeah, but am I happy with, you know, some of the ways that, you know, it comes out? No. But I'm coming up with other ideas. But again, it's just all hard work. And this person, and she's come on my channel too, I think. I'm not sure. And I think she did but she didn't like really say a whole lot, because I think most of the people that she offended are subscribed to me. But there's a couple people that, you know, she's offended. And I can understand why. And I'm just going to put it this way. When people send you gifts, you know, YouTube creators get, when the YouTube creators, you know, get gifts from, you know, other people that, you know, subscribe, or, you know, other YouTube creators, it's not because you go around asking. Okay. I've had a couple, you know, like what the present is from Rachel Ray that she sent my son. We didn't ask for that. Okay. And I was talking to another, you know, YouTube creator the other day on, you know, Facebook video call. And, you know, she and I were talking about how this person was, you know, going on Instagram and following, you know, diamond painters. And she started following me too, and I didn't realize who she was. And she friend requested me on Facebook, and of course I accepted her friend request, but I didn't know who she was at the time. And, you know, she didn't say anything to me. She hasn't, like, come to me and yet. But she's been going to a couple other people. And all I can say is it's disrespectful. And, you know, going around begging, you know, for this, for that. Really? I mean, seriously? And if you're going to do videos, of what your hobby, you need to have the materials and you need to be prepared. No, am I always prepared? No. I mean, I do try to be prepared, and I'm probably, rambling on here, and I apologize. But, all it boils down to is it's hard work. If you have an idea for, a video and you plan it out, make sure you're prepared. And always, if you got to work at it, that's the only way you're going to get your subscribers. Do I want to hit the 1K? Sure. Do I want to be monetized? Eventually, at some point in my life, I would like to. But am I only doing this because of that? No. I'm doing it because I'm comfortable with it now, and I'm enjoying it. No, granted, I was nervous as hell the first time I ever did this. And, but I enjoy it. And it's fun. Of course, there's been a couple of times that, my daughter Miranda's walked in while I'm recording a video looking at me like, who are you talking to? But when she realizes, she goes on. But, I mean, it's hard work and it's fun. But you've got to have fun. And you've got to do the work yourself. Don't depend on other people. Because it's not going to help you. And anytime, I know there are some newbies out there, and anytime, you guys need help with ideas, I will gladly help, but I will not give you, and that's as far as I'll go. I'll sit down, discuss the ideas, if that's what you want, and I'll help, and I can give you advice, but am I going to, do the work for you? No. It's not happening. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to be a rant and be really, really long, but it's, I wanted to reiterate on Mrs. Coffee, and I wanted to, say, I totally agree, and of course, I went off on my little, whatever, sorry, guys, I wasn't trying to be, but, just remember if you're a YouTube creator and you're new and you're trying to, just remember, have fun, and, enjoy what you're doing. It's always fun. I mean, I know sometimes in my videos I sound like I'm just gonna talk like this, and I'm trying to fix that. But that's one of my reasons. One of my issues. But I mean, no, have fun, enjoy yourself, and you'll get there eventually. It's gonna take a lot of work. But anyhow, so I think that's it for today. But I wanted to say, thank you for watching. And if you are subscribed, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you liked my video, please hit the like button. And if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to comment, ask me a question. I can answer, I answer all comments as quick, as soon as I see them. And I hope you guys have a good week. And I will see you soon, and have a great week, and God bless.